Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning. So good to be here with y'all. It seems like there's so many of us that are kind of coming back in from our travels through the summer and whatnot, and it feels really good to be back home. That's what this place feels like for us. I'm going to start, God, you are. God, you are every mountain. God, you are every ocean. God, you are every canyon, every inch of earth and sky. God, you are every morning. God, you are every midnight. God, you are every moment, every second of my life. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. God, you are every sunrise. God, you are every moon glow. God, you are every star shine, every inch of earth and sky. God, you are every springtime. God, you are every snowfall. God, you are every season, every second of my life. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. 'Cause you are the very breath I breathe, and your perfect love created me. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything I see, everything below, everything I know is you. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, welcome to Unity Spiritual Center of Portland. I'm Reverend Diane Borsakowski, and I am your guest speaker today, filling in for Reverend Lisa Davis, who's on sabbatical. She drags me out of retirement so she can go on sabbatical. Sounds fair to me. I'm very happy to be here, and I'm very happy to see each of you. You are here by divine appointment. And that's a good feeling, isn't it? To know you are where you are supposed to be. Let's join in a little opening invocation to set the tone for today. So we do know that we are here where we are supposed to be. This is the place, this is the space, this is the opening grace. Each of us is filled and fulfilled by the promise that God is within, and God is in this place. God is everywhere present, with us, in us, as us. And I speak my word today for the fulfillment for each person here, to hear what they came to hear what they need to hear, and that this message flows through me as an emissary of my highest self. And I know that each person who serves this community serves it with deep grace and love. This is a loving place. This is a safe place. And we are so blessed to be here, ready to receive. And so it is. And now we have our admin here, Beth, who is ready to give us some announcements. I understand a lot is going on around here.
There is a lot going on around here. Hi, it's good to see you all here with us this morning. Thank you for being here. I first want to introduce our prayer chaplains. You know, Unity is based on intentional prayer. And each week we have a group of prayer chaplains who are here to pray with you if you need it after the service. If you all would please stand. Maybe Colleen and James Eric and Sherry. If you have a prayer need, they'll be here after the service to pray with you in person. If you're not quite ready for that, there's prayer slips in the backs of the chairs. You can fill out your prayer request. Someone can contact you. You can make your prayer request online on our website. And if you need a little midweek inspiration, you can call the Dial a Prayer, which is changed weekly with a wonderful inspirational message. And since we're on the prayer chaplain note, I'm going to turn this over to Colleen Story, who is your host for this next Friday's Garden Party fundraiser. Colleen. She's enjoying her beverage in her camping chair.
So wasn't that some great music, opening music this morning? Yes. You know where else you can get some great relaxing music, uplifting? This Friday night here in our beautiful, beautiful garden space. It's our fundraiser. So we have our garden party coming on this Friday. That's why I'm sitting here. I'm ready. I have my wine glass. I have my wine. I have my chair. But all you need to bring is your chair. Tickets are $20. You can go online, I think PushPay, is that correct? And I'll be out in the lobby selling tickets after the service today, or you can buy tickets at the door. So we have a wonderful band coming, and they're a wide mix of music, maybe even a couple little sing-alongs. We have wine from St. Joseph's Winery outside of Canby, so some local wine for sale. We'll have charcuterie plates with smoked cheese, crackers, salmon dip, you name it. We'll probably have it out there, some fresh water. So I really hope that you'll join us with this fundraiser to support the church. 100% of the proceeds go directly to the church. And I just hope you come and enjoy music, just join the fellowship with everybody there. Thank you.
Thank you, Colleen. She's been working hard putting this together. We hope you all join us on Friday evening. And today's last day to get your ticket, so come on out to the desk and see her following the service. So also, let's see, ending today is our summertime, and the giving is easy. And it has been easy. The community outreach team came in this week because school was starting, so they gathered the school supplies, and they've got those going in different places. You can still give a donation. There's a little box out there if you didn't bring anything or you haven't participated yet. You can make a donation, and they'll do the shopping for you. So we thank them in advance and you in advance for a successful outreach program this summer. So as we're wrapping up our summer projects, we've been busy planning our fall program. Spirit groups are coming October 2nd. It's always an exciting time, fall is, as we get back into the routine of turning our sights to learning and growing. This year's fall program is entitled From Fear to Faith. And we're using the book, The Universe Has Your Back by Gabrielle Bernstein. Alice already has it stocked in the bookstore, so if you want to check that out, you can do that today. And as always, as an adjunct to the Sunday Talks is our spirit groups. And this is a wonderful support group system. Different small groups, we meet once a week. We either do that on Zoom or we do it in person. We're always in need of some new facilitators, though. So if you've been in a group previously and you are interested in serving this way, we would love to have you come forward and give us a hand. Maybe you haven't done it before, you can still do it. It's pretty easy. There's training, and we have guidebooks. If you're interested, come and see Barbara or I today following this service, and we'll get you hooked up. So we've had 5 or 6 people every Wednesday coming for our sack lunch bunch. And they have joyously been preparing 20 lunches a week that are then delivered down to Laurelhurst Park to our houseless community. There's so much joy and laughter coming out of that kitchen. It's such a wonderful thing. We hope you'll join them. You are getting a sign. If you signed up to volunteer, you're getting a sign up for that Wednesday event each week in your email. So make sure you check that out. And if you can't be here Wednesday during the week, but you'd like to participate, we welcome any donations of food, maybe a gift card to a grocery store that we could go buy lunch food. So think about those things and get involved if you're not doing that yet. Our 20s and 30s groups will be meeting downstairs today during the Coffee and Connections. So any 20s and 30-somethings in the room, you can join Alex after the service today. And the ongoers, which is our 55 and up group, they're going to have lunch next Friday, August 26th at Heidi's out in Gresham. Breakfast all day, I hear. So that's a wonderful event. Everybody loves that and loves going to that. So that's this coming Friday. I want to let you know we got our bingo license this week. And I know every time I say bingo, I get a little bit of quiet laughter, okay, across the, but I want to tell you something, okay? It's not just fun and games. It's fun and games, but it's also a very serious fundraiser. You know, at our annual meeting, we came up with a couple of ideas on how to raise money to get us out of the red every month, because we've kind of been running that way. And this bingo game, this one bingo game a week can produce for us up to $20,000. I know, it's hard to believe, isn't it? It's hard for me to believe, but it's true. And there's other Unity churches in our country who've done that. And so we're kind of modeling after them. It's very exciting, but we need about 8 to 10 solid volunteers every week. Doesn't have to be the same ones, but we're putting together a team. This is a serious fundraising event, and we are very excited that we can make this happen. There's some flyers out in the lobby. We're taking a field trip to the DAV bingo on Saturday, October 10th, so we can kind of get a feel for it and see what's going on. And then we're gonna do a couple of practice games in October following the service, which I hope you'll all participate in. So just letting you know about that. And I wanna let you know too, in 2 weeks, Labor Day weekend services return to 11 a.m. So some of y'all, I know, right? Woo, no more early Sundays. I know, I'm glad. And you people at home who are watching in your jammies, drinking your coffee, you can come back too, 11 o'clock. We'll see you then. Also that week on Thursday, September the 8th, that is Unity's World Day of Prayer. They're doing it virtually out at the Village this year. I've put a link in the newsletter for you if you want to participate in that on a bigger level, on a bigger scale. But just like we did last year, which was a wonderful event, Thursday, September 8th at 6:30, we're gonna meet over in the East parking lot, and we're gonna walk the labyrinth together. And the prayer chaplains are gonna set the tone for that. It's gonna be a great event. We hope you'll all come and join us. And now, I wanna welcome anyone who's here for the first time. If you're a newcomer, if this is your first visit to Unity Spiritual Center of Portland, we're really glad you're here. If you'd raise your hand so our ushers can see you. If you didn't get a packet when you came in, they're gonna present you with a packet. On the front of that packet, there's a little rose sticker, and we'd like you to stick that to your clothing so that we know who you are after the service. Come on downstairs, join us for some coffee. On the back, there's a neon card. We'd love for you to fill that out. That'll get you on our mailing list. There's a QR code. If you're technically savvy, you can use that, and we'll get you on the mailing list also. And for you at home, they're putting the QR code up. If this is your first time joining us online, we invite you to sign up so you can see what's happening here on a regular weekly basis. So we're awfully glad you joined us this morning. We trust you'll be inspired and uplifted, and we hope to see you again in the very near future. Have a great week, everybody. Thanks.
I guess it's our turn. 2, 3, 4, here we go. When I walk, here we go. When I walk in the Spirit. I walk in the Holy Spirit. When I walk in the Spirit. I walk in the Holy Spirit. When I walk. When I move in the Spirit. I move in the Holy Spirit.
When I move,
Yes, when I walk, when I move in the Spirit. I move in the Holy Spirit. When I walk, and when I pray, I pray in the Spirit. I pray in the Holy Spirit. When I pray. When I pray in the Spirit. I pray in the Holy Spirit. When I pray. And when I talk, I talk in the Spirit.
I
Talk in the Holy Spirit. When I talk. When I pray, I talk into Spirit. I talk into Holy Spirit. When I talk. Okay, when I walk, go back. Here we go. And when I walk in the Spirit. I walk in the Holy Spirit. When I walk. When I walk in the Spirit. I walk in the Holy Spirit. When I walk. And when I move. When I pray. When I talk. When I talk, and when I walk, when I walk. That's right. Just take a little quiet time and come back down to meditation. So this is life. This is home. This is love. And this is God. This is life. This is life. This is home. This is love. And this is God.
This is life. This is God. This is God within me. This is God within us. And we turn to deep within ourselves to find the ever-present love of the divine. We turn within to remember who we are. For within us is the presence of God. And as I recognize this presence, I visualize a tiny candle flame. This is a mighty candle flame, a bright light that grows ever brighter as I acknowledge its presence. This candle flame is within me. It is within us, and it can never be extinguished. It can never melt. It can never be diminished in any way. It always glows. It's always present. And it grows as I let myself become more and more aware that this is my life. This is God. And in the silence, let us contemplate that little flame inside our chest, inside the heart chakra, and let it grow. And so let us feel the warmth of this flame as it moves throughout our sense of self, as it grows and glows throughout this service, as it warms us as we go throughout our day. We know it is always present and available for us to use.
So this is life. This is hope. This is love. Yes, and this is God. So this is life. This is hope. This is love, ooh, and this is God. We are life, 'cause we are life. We are hope. We are love, and we are God. We are so pleased and appreciate having Leah Yorkston here with us today. Gonna sing Closer to the Light.
From day to day, it's so hard for me to say
Thank you so much, Michael and Leah and our wonderful band. I love that. Traveling closer to the light. That's what it's all about. My topic today is soul speak. Soul speak is a language all its own. So I want to look first at the definition of what a language is. The word language, according to the dictionary, is the principal method of human communication, consisting of words used in a structured and conventional way and conveyed by speech, writing, and gesture. Soul speak is a language that has absolutely nothing to do with humans communicating. There is no alphabet, and therefore there are no words per se. And it is not conveyed by speech, writing, or gesture. Soul speak is a language that nobody can go to school to learn. Duolingo doesn't even have it. It is a language, a system of communication, but it's not by humans. It is for humans. This language is divine. This language is what I have called soul speak. And in this instance, as I'm using it, I think of it as your soul and my soul individually expressing as God. It is the God in us as us that we talk about. It is the real you, and it's the real me. It is the soul that we speak of when we die. It is the essence of us that moves out into eternity to inherit a residence afresh. It is the individualized God self that knows no bounds. My description of soul, as in your soul and my soul, is that it is neutral. It has no opinion. There is no positive or negative in this realm. There's no good or evil. This soul just witnesses, and it awaits our recognition. A witness does not get involved. Thank goodness it doesn't get involved. It doesn't involve itself in our little earthly matters and woes. And you know what? We don't want it to come down to that level. We want it to stay where it is. And where it is a higher place. We need a higher place to turn to. We don't need any help in referencing what's going on in this world. We have to rise to its level in order to connect or commune or to heal. That's the catch-22. We have to rise to its level in order to connect. Now, this soul, or God in us, is non-bargaining and it's non-bartering. This concept of soul that I'm talking about cannot really be understood with the mind. It can only be grokked. Have you heard that term, to grok? Yeah, a couple of old sci-fi fans, huh? It's from Stranger in a Strange Land by Robert Heinlein. It means, in essence, when an innocent being in this novel asks if we're understanding, but it's more than that. He says, do you grok? It is when soul communication or soul speak communication is received. You know that you know. It's a knowing beyond knowing. So when it is received, this soul communication, there are no real words to describe it. It really is ineffable because words limit things. They put a frame around a thing. And the soul speak experience is unlimited. You cannot speak to soul. It speaks to you. You see, it has nothing to hear from you. It doesn't need to know your, babbling stuff. You have nothing to tell it. It does not live in that framework. If you have nothing of importance to share with it, then what's left to you is silence so that you can hear it. You do not pray to it. It is not outside of yourself. You pray as it and become it. You assume the position of a whole entity. The position is whole, perfect, and complete. It is who you truly are, and you become more of it, and it becomes you as more. What you do is remember it. You remember your self, your higher self. And that is how you and I heal our woes. We remember and return. Your soul is God. It is God in you as you. It is the part of you that you turn to in prayer. You turn to it not to ask for something, but to let it speak to you of truth. Because that's all it is truth. It is the divine knower, the all-knowing, all-seeing, all-acting, all-wise, all-loving, and eternal in you. It is cause. It is perfect. It is God living as you. That's why we can say in this philosophy, I am God. You are God. That's why we say there is no separation between us and God. There's nowhere to go but within. We are living in it. We live and move and have our very being in it. Soul speak is God's language. No words per se. Soul speak is God communicating uniquely in you, as you, for you. Most of us don't even know this language exists. We are so busy making noise. We're so busy fussing and fighting, dividing and conquering, justifying and defending, offending and being offended. We are too loud, begging for help, begging for healing, begging for answers or money or work or love. All these things we think we lack. God doesn't know a thing about your sense of lack because God is all abundance and everything that you need is already available. God doesn't know that ignorant, limited language that we speak. And we don't know, for the most part, God's language because we are so busy babbling about our earthbound pains and misconceptions. Now remember, I said you can't go to school to learn this language, but you can go to school to learn the practice of meditation and affirmative prayer that will help you experience this language. Not noisy prayer, not that kind where you ask for stuff like God is some kind of Santa Claus or a divine dispenser of goodies. but affirmative prayer, where you affirm and claim your desired good by knowing it is already yours. It already is you. You see, we can't go to school to learn soul speak, but we can clear the way to receive this language of the divine. We don't understand it. We remember it. It comes forth from within us because it's always been there. I love Emerson. He said we should get our bloated nothingness out of the way of the divine circuits. I spit laughed when I heard that first. I was in ministerial school at the time. It is so true, I thought to myself. Sometimes I have so much bloated nothingness going on. No wonder the divine circuits are misfiring and disconnecting and exploding, leaving me in the dark. Get your bloated nothingness out of the way of the divine circuits. Imagine if we can learn to do that. I have had so many experiences of my own bloated nothingness being in my way in my life. It's really humbling when I think about it, because all those times and instances in my life, I have to recall also how when I stopped bloating up like a blowfish, Spirit spoke or showed up in some amazing way to guide me, or seemingly miraculously placed in front of me exactly what I needed, or hit me over the head to get my attention. Literally once. I'll share that in a minute. Whatever it took, God in me did its thing. Soul speak is not usually very subtle or invisible, as we sometimes think we're in the midst of something. That bloated nothingness blocks our ability to see it or hear it or feel it. When we're in the midst of something painful, it just seems like it's subtle, but we're so loud because we can't see what's going on quietly behind us, within us, while we go about our days. You see, one usually does not know that it has communicated already, that it has spoken, if you will, until sometime long after the fact in some cases. Over 40 years ago, God, I can't even believe that, my young self had a big chip on her shoulder. I so much wanted to be a professional actress. And I was very good. I played all the leads in high school and college and community theater. I loved the stage. But I was living in LA. I really should have been in New York. Breaking into professional theater, or the television film industry, which was there, was not as easy as I thought it should be for someone as talented as me. Audition after audition, or really cattle call after cattle call, was all I could get. You see, you had to be a member of the union to get a good audition for an actual role. But in order to be a member of the union, you had to have had a role. It's true. And it was so frustrating. I felt it was futile, and I walked around living my life in frustration at that time. I needed to be in New York to do stage, but I really didn't have the money to live in New York. So I kept on trying in Los Angeles. But after a while, my attitude really started to stink. After a certain point in time, I started to become angry. And I had a sense that I had to fake not being angry, that I was a pleasant person. I became angry with all the casting directors, all the agents. I became angry with the directors of the plays, and anyone who had the power, it seemed to me, to obstruct my path. I was even angry at God. The proverbial chip on my shoulder was more like a boulder. I remember the essence of my consciousness back then. I remember deeply praying, although it was just wishing at the time, that I would find a mentor. That's bottom line what I felt I really needed, someone who would care about my journey, help me advance in this, tell me what to do that I wasn't doing, someone to guide me in this crazy business. That was, bottom line, the pervading desire that was in my consciousness. Everything I was doing on the outside to make it in acting wasn't working. Now, little did I know, this mentor that I was craving wasn't the kind of mentor I really needed. But another mentor happened to be just around the corner and down the street. One Sunday morning, I didn't even know it was Sunday because I stopped going to church when I left home at age 18. This Sunday morning, I got up really early. It's like 6, something like that. And I was very cranky and unhappy. I just woke up that way. I had a million errands to run, bills to pay that I really couldn't pay, and another futile audition that I was supposed to go to that afternoon. So in my nightgown, I stumbled out to the kitchen, and I was trying to get something to drink, and I noticed there was a dish towel on the floor. It had fallen to the ground, so I bent down to pick it up. And when I rose fast, and I smacked my head on an open kitchen cabinet door corner. I hit it hard. My head started to bleed. Did you know how much blood is in your scalp? Oh my goodness. It scared me. It was coming down so far in my eyes, everywhere. I grabbed that dish towel and I applied it to my head, and I tried to call somebody to help me, but it was only 6 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday morning. So every call went to a machine. No voicemail then. Machines, no cell phones. I had to do something, so I decided I'd better take myself to an emergency room, but I couldn't stop the bleeding. And boy, did my head hurt. So on top of my nightgown, I pulled it up and I put on a black trench coat and white sneakers with no socks, and I headed out the door to my dilapidated little Volkswagen Bug. There was no GPS then either. And I didn't really know where an emergency room was, and I was racking my brain to remember even where I saw a hospital, and I did recall one. It was in beautiful downtown Burbank, and I was living in Van Nuys at the time in Southern California. And the hospital was in Burbank, but I got my keys in my purse, and I got in the car, and I started to drive to the hospital. All of a sudden, the sky just opened up, and there was a downpour of rain so heavy you would not believe it. Now, Southern California is not known for raining very much at all. But sometimes when it does rain, it's like a fire hose shooting down from the sky. We were so unprepared for this in California. There was no infrastructure to handle all this in the drainage on the streets. So the streets became flooded like instantly because there was nowhere for it to go. It was full of leaves and stuff. Nobody ever cleaned those out. Well, you know, Volkswagens are supposed to float, right? But I didn't want to test it. I started driving and taking detours to avoid the roads with rivers running down them. But the thing is, I couldn't see very well because my windshield wipers were not working quite right. They would across my windshield instead of a smooth swish. Well, I did make it to the hospital, and I got 7 stitches in my scalp. My head felt like it was in a vice, and now I had to go home I had to run to the car through the rain, in the still pouring down rain, and I started to make my way back home. Well, I had to make lots of detours now because almost everything was flooded, and I got totally lost. Was I in Burbank? Was I in Studio City? Where was I? And in that moment, on a street I did not know, there was a huge explosion, and my car just veered off to the side of the road very abruptly. That explosion was my tire. I had a flat tire in the pouring rain in a strange place I could not recognize because I couldn't see out my window. My head was pounding and there was blood caked in my hair, and now a flat tire. Really? I hobbled the car off to the curb and sort of parked. I was right next to this apartment complex with a phone box on the outside with the tenants' names and the little codes to call them. I got out of my car and I got into the rain and I tried to punch a few of those buttons. Nobody answered. Unbelievable, nobody answered. It's like 10 o'clock now. Somebody had to be awake. Well, in disgust, I got back into my car and I just sat there for a minute. I did not know what to do. I started to cry like any self-respecting actress and drama queen. And all of a sudden, on my radio, this song played.
When you're weary, feeling small, when tears are in your eyes, I will dry them all. I'm on your side. Oh, when times get rough and friends just can't be found, like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down like a bridge over troubled water. I will lay me down.
That song means everything to me. It has come on the radio or played in a store or at a party or anywhere I am at the most amazing synchronous times when I have been in trouble, turmoil, or grief. And each time, it has given me such peace. It has helped me remember when friends just can't be found. Well, it makes me cry every single time. Back in the car. This was one of those times. I pulled myself together a little bit and I glanced across the street. It looked like a little church building. Maybe they would have a phone I could use. So, in my nightgown, hiked up under my black trench coat, soaked white tennis shoes, and blood-caked hair, I ran across the street in the rain and opened up one of the small, plain double doors. Yes, it was open. And inside, this teeny little lobby, little square lobby, was an elderly gentleman in a pale blue suit with a little pink carnation in his lapel. He was standing there all alone and looked a little surprised. At that moment, I heard, coming from another set of double doors that were right next to me, some speaking with authority kind of sound through those double doors. From inside the little lobby I was standing in, I realized, oh my gosh, this was a church service going on. Oh, it must be Sunday. I whispered then to this elderly gentleman, "May I please use the phone?" He nodded and offered me his arm. I stood there for just a moment, kind of putting this together, wondering what this meant. And, well, I took his arm, weakly smiled. Here he was, Prince Charming, offering his arm to dripping beauty in her nightgown and bloody hair. The gentleman, who I later found out was deaf, ushered me into the sanctuary. Oh, no, I want to use the phone. He nodded again and gestured to the back pew. What was I going to do? I sat there, prisoner, ruminating how horrible everything was. Could it get any worse? I mean, really, finally, I just thought, you know what? I will just sit here until there's a good moment to escape. I started to kind of tune in to what the man up there was saying. And I'll never forget what he said. It made me so mad. He said, "There are no victims, only volunteers. You are the cause of your every experience." Oh my God, how can he say that? I didn't cause my friends not to answer the phone. I didn't cause a flat tire. I didn't cause this flood. What kind of crazy church is this? Well, a few minutes later, things seemed to be wrapping up on the service, and I thought, I'm going to get out of here. Okay, as soon as everybody rises to sing the song, I will step past the people that came in late after me and sat next to me and go out through that little double door again and get out of here. And that's exactly what I did. But standing right on the other side of that double door was not the usher, but the minister. He had come fully around the church during the last song in order that he could greet the congregation as they left. Well, he took one look at me, and I looked at him, and he asked, "So, can I help you in any way?" I said, "Yes!" And I just started bawling all over the place. I fell into tears. Well, he kindly and gently took me into his office around the church. And I proceeded to tell him all that had happened to me that day. In fact, I told him the story of my life. Well, he made a call in this conversation to his assistant somewhere. And after I calmed down and we finished talking, he walked me out, and the sun was shining, and the birds were literally singing, and someone from the congregation had fixed my flat tire. This was the Church of Religious Science of North Hollywood, of which I have been a minister for over 30 years. This is the place I return to Sunday after Sunday and weekday after weekday for classes until I went to ministerial school in San Jose. In between, I did have some success in acting, but the true soul speak, the true guidance was to lead me not into stardom, but into my life in ministry. You know, I did not know that on that fateful Sunday, what that was going to propel me into. After years of study and into the ministry, I was at my church where my ministry school was being held in San Jose, and I had just finished my practitioner license program, and I had become a practitioner, and I was offered the opportunity to do the invocation that Sunday, which was a great honor when you're a brand new practitioner, fresh off the license truck. And I did that invocation, and it felt so wonderful. I felt so at home. And I went home, and I was kind of reminiscing and feeling the joy of accomplishment many years later. So I decided I would start to journal this. And while I was journaling, I asked myself, I suddenly thought, how did I get here? How did this happen? And I attribute it to Soul Speak that happened many years before, that guided me into that church at around 10-something. And this is when I realized that that sweet, deaf usher was my partner in soul. He was the perfect instrument through which soul spoke in me. And I experienced the manifestation of that years and years after and during. Sometimes, my friends, it takes a hit on the head, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and an explosion maybe to get someone's attention. To get someone to listen to the divine whisper, to listen to the message from the soul, the message from that part of you and I who knows you and as you truly are. When you are weary, feeling small, when friends just can't be found, remember to be still and know that I am God. Be still so your soul can speak in its beautiful way, uniquely your way, just so you can hear it. And so it shall, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you. And now it's a very sacred time for us to share our love offering with each other, with this church, for its forward movement and advancement. If you will bring your donation into your heart, and will say with me, there is an affirmation, isn't there? Thank you. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God.
My world is not okay, when there's roadblocks in my way, when I feel so all alone, these words will bring you home. Let love lead the way. Let love lead the way. Oh, oh, oh. Let love lead the way. Let love lead the way. When we can't see eye to eye, no matter how we try, we can find our harmony if you sing along with me. Let love lead the way. Oh, let love lead the way. Oh, oh, oh. Let love lead the way. Let love lead the way. In everything, love will be the gift I bring, to give and to receive, straight from the heart. Let love lead the way. Oh, let love lead the way. Oh, oh, oh. Let love lead the way.
Let love lead the way. Sean.
Each morning when I wake, there's a choice that I can make. In everything I do and say, I'll let love lead the way.
You can sing with us. Let love lead the way.
Let love lead the way.
Oh, oh,
Oh, let love lead the way.
oh, oh, oh.
Let love lead the way.
Let love lead the way.
Let love lead the way. Oh, let love lead the way. Oh, oh, oh. Let love lead the way.
Let love lead the way. Let love lead the way.
Let love lead the way. Oh,
Let love lead the way.
oh,
Let love lead the way.
Woo! All right. Fabulous. Thank you. You guys are rocking out. Can't help it with that song. It's great. I don't know if you know it, but we're having a coffee and fellowship downstairs after the service. And I know there's a number of things to sign up for and take care of business. So don't forget all the things that you want to do and be a part of. And now let us all stand and sing the peace song.
Here we go. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me.
Wonderful. Have a blessed week this week. Let the soul speak to you. And let us remind ourselves of the unity prayer. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Have a wonderful week.
2, 3. Let love lead the way.